Well, today we're speaking with Farhan Mirza, and the topic is customization of vehicles, which is a growing trend for OEM automakers. So, Farhan, can you first provide a brief background of yourself before you start to introduce this topic?
Sure. Thank you again very much, Justin, for having me on board. And we have had a few recordings in the past, and past few years we have worked together, and always a pleasure coming on board. And as you introduce myself, Farhan Mirza, by profession, I'm a mechanical engineer and industrial engineer, and have worked several years in General Motors, from manufacturing to purchasing to supply, quality, and launch. And I'm a certified Six Sigma black belt, and as well as various other quality certifications. And then on, I moved into the wind turbine industry, worked for a wind turbine manufacturer in US, as well as then lived in Europe, and did an assignment within the consulting world with a couple of private equities, and also in Russia, working with the biggest automaker over there. And then I recently worked a couple of years with Karma Automotive, which is a hybrid battery operated vehicle. Used to be Fisker, and then after its bankruptcy, the Wangshan Group bought it and turned the business around. I was running all of the supplier quality function, and then moved into one of my best assignments of my career till now, could be the customization of vehicles. And I ran that function, which you could say it was a company within a company, and we want to grow it to a P&L of its own. So that's a summary of my background. And I can then jump into this topic. Okay with you, Justin? And
thank you. So, can you talk about this trend which is happening with customization of vehicles?
Sure. So, those of you who have been connected with the auto industry are just passionate about vehicles. And as you can see, just in the talking about the US market alone, 17 million plus vehicles on a yearly basis are new vehicles. China, obviously, a formidable force overtaking the US now. And then there was a McKinsey article which had come in recently that in the next 4 years, India would be the third biggest manufacturer, just tagging after China, US, and then it will be India. So with so much of manufacturing happening, so much of cutthroat competition, the money to be made in the automotive world is not just in producing the cars by the thousands. You got to have more telematics. You got to have more things in the car which people are going to say the wow effect, and things which people say this is something which I'm going to benefit from, or it's going to be a value add for me. So previously, used to be like even wheels, not much used to be happening within the what's the original equipment manufacturer. I would be from here on saying OEMs, as the automotive OEMs would have it. They would just have the outside manufacturers make these, but there's so much of margin. So accessories, customized products, and then making something to the taste of a select few that has got a value. The bespoke would be the experience you go through from what was a concept you want different to the point of where it's going to be completely designed and developed for you as an individualized customer, a select few, or just you as a person. And that comes in where Aston Martin has a division by the name Q by Aston Martin. Only the Q does the customization. Then you move into Lamborghini, and then ad personam is their separate entity which does this stuff. And every manufacturer you go to, like McLaren, for example, they have called the division is MSO, McLaren Special Operations. So as a matter of fact, tomorrow, 13 December, I will be attending the managing director of McLaren and their chief designer, spending about 3 hours with them, going deeper into the concept of customization. So what we did when I was with Karma Automotive was going in and saying, what can we do with, although a very unique vehicle, a truly sexy product people are going to look at, and it's a head turner, I want to further customize it. And we start with focusing more on the interior, where you can do some easy stuff. It's easily visible, less impact to various testing, etc. to be done. And at the same time, you are able to get a quick turnaround to be able to sell to the customer. Whereas on the exterior, if you change the sheet metal, the design, either you have got excessive testing requirements, or you have got tooling changes, which costs a lot of money. Not that people don't do it. There are some people who do it. So exterior paint is one thing you can really play with. And of course, 3 to 4 months generally it takes to develop a specialized paint, sometimes a little bit longer. On the interior, you go with stitching, embroidery. So generally, it costs, when you look at the manifest or the window stickers, somewhere between $500 to $1,500 is what the manufacturers charge for contrast stitching. You can have a cream seat and you can have an orange stitching on it, and that's what they're going to charge. Then you go with the caliper, the brake caliper colors. You can have different colors, and they're charging anywhere between $800 to up to $2,000. Then you got the wheels, and wheels are tons of money to be made, anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 to as much as $14,000-15,000. We had a carbon fiber wheel, which is right now retailing at about $14,000 or $15,000. And when you package it with a program, it's a bit cheaper. Then the next thing comes in is you go in and say some special embroidery. So if you are a customer, you want your initials on the console, on the seat headrest, where it's visible, like on a shirt or a cufflink, you would do the same way you would do the embroidery on the leather. Further, what we do is you can have it say, I'm only going to make 10 or 15 or 20 of these vehicles, and each will be specifically numbered. So 1 of 15, 2 of 15, and you are going to be those owners, and it's going to be sometimes signed by the chief designer, sometimes by the chief engineer, and sometimes it's just called edition. At Karma, we had named it the Eliso edition. One of my colleagues came up with the name. It was more so with the Eliso Beach on Southern California, where Karma is all about as a company, and it worked out well. And we had 15 of those special edition cars, which are right now in the market, about a month back released. Then it comes in where you can go, this is the basic customization. Then you have the next step where you say, I'm going to have 15 to 20 items in my, like a virtual library, where I can have different fabrics, different leathers, different colors in them, and different combinations. So the design team at every manufacturer would say, this is a predetermined concept. We as the design team suggest on our product these 10 to 15 different options, which are going to be, say, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 more than what the base car would be, is what we suggest you could take. And then we're going to limit them. So every time we go and order them, let's say we restrict to 15, every time a customer picks, it goes down in number. And then eventually it could be, some are as restricted as 5, some are as 10, some are as 15. So depending on the option, you're going to be one of the exclusive ones to own it. Exterior color, exterior wheels, brake calipers, stitching, contrast stitching, special labeling, and then embroidery. And these pretty much are the basics. Then you can go after the 10 to 15 different color options. You go to further customization, where Dustin could say, I want the constellation, how it looks from my latitude and longitude of my home. When I look at the sky, that's how this looks. So Rolls-Royce has in-house the capability of doing it. And a couple of other suppliers like Galpin, very close to Los Angeles Airport, Southern California, they have mirrored that. It's all LEDs, painstakingly drawn, just like how the sky would look in the constellation when you look at your from your home. One example. Others could be how the sunset could be. It could be some of the design, some of the colors, options. So that is even more personalization. Then you go in and say, when I sit in the car, I could open the door and there's a message in the center console comes in, and it's programmable. It could say, Dustin, welcome, sit inside. Say, Farhan, how was your day? It's end of the day. In the morning, it could say, have a nice day. When you open the door, rather than having just a puddle light from the side view mirror, you could have your own name or a welcome mat. Some of these are like common things which you are seeing, but the personalization gets more. There's mood lighting. Previously, we used to hear Bill Gates had in his home in Seattle, every room was mood and it senses moods. Over here in planes, we have that, but now it's coming to the cars. And telematics combined with what individual personalization is, combined with what the automakers are going to deliver. And they say that you bring a dream, we as the automaker will make it reality for you. So there is a car which Aston Martin, as a matter of fact, created, which cost them like $10 to $12 million because the customer wanted it a certain way. It was never designed that way, and it happened. There's another Rolls-Royce Phantom, which was for $13 million it was costing to make that one car, because all the test and validation had to be done. This customer wanted it that bespoke. So they did everything on that one car, and the cost couldn't be absorbed anywhere else. And hence the product was delivered. So people are now tending more towards, it could be a common car, but then it speaks about you as a person, about you as a personality, and that's what's being delivered. So this is a game changer. No matter you go electric vehicles, you go hybrids, or you go conventional gas engines, personalization, customization, a big money maker, being a P&L function within a company itself is where things are going more and more as a trend. And that's what I want to share with you folks. And this is not just limited to the high-end vehicles. Nowadays, we are catering to people coming out of college. Even they may want their customization. So on a say $10,000-$15,000 Toyota Corolla, you could still have a customization where you could have some features which will stand out for you. Maybe there's going to be a few hundred people more like you, but you're going to pay that. And then as you grow in your life, your needs and your situations in life change, you may want to go different products, some at the same price level, some at a higher level. It just doesn't mean that customization is restricted to the top echelon of the society. It's become a mainstream, and manufacturers are catching in on this at every income level of the society. And I think that's what I wanted to share with you, Justin, in these few minutes.
Thanks for sharing today, Farhan.
Welcome.